And good afternoon. Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. I'm here with another exciting presentation of Welcome to the Booth. I'm joined by Laura Raspberry Clinton, who is a transplant from Florida. Just kidding. A longtime Kennett resident who's back after living in Florida for a while. And we're going to talk a little bit about the September 6th Fall into Arts Festival that's going to take place in downtown Kennett. Laura, welcome to the booth.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thank you so much. Really excited.
And we're excited to have you. Laura, if you could, tell the people a little bit about Laura Raspberry Clinton.
Oh, dear. Well, I was raised here in Kennett, and I graduated high school here. I basically grew up here and graduated high school in 1983. And then from there, went on to Mizzou, attended Mizzou, graduated in 1987. And then from there, migrated to St. Louis. I was in the hotel and restaurant industry for 15 years. That's what my major was in. And ultimately, after being in the St. Louis area for, I guess about 10, maybe going on 11 years, that is ultimately what took me down to South Florida. So I would say, like, in the very beginning, January of 1999, I literally had 24 hours to decide. My bosses came to, there was a small group of us, less than 5, that were in part of the management company or part of this management group, and they had, were over several properties, and they had just acquired 3 properties in South Florida. One being a boutique hotel in Miami Beach, then one being in Fort Lauderdale, and then one being in Boca. And so they basically handpicked about 3 to 5 of us out of the company. We weren't all from the St. Louis area. Some were from, the Chicago area, so on and so forth. And they said, okay, well, how do you feel about this? And if you say yes, you basically need to, you need to go home, pack, and be on a plane by tonight. Oh, okay. So that's pretty much how it went down. And I think probably strategically looking back at it, they were probably picking those of us that didn't have any children, weren't, just were able to or could, pick up and move if we wanted to. So.
And again, we're here with Laura Raspberry Clinton, talking a little bit about herself from the Kennett area. We're here on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. And Laura, it sounds like it was an interesting time. You went to the University of Missouri. Yeah. You got a degree in hotel and restaurant management, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And you're in the St. Louis area, and you had an opportunity to say, hey, you've got about 24 hours to decide what you're going to do here. Where in Florida are you going to go? And where did you decide to go?
Well, basically, we had... Well, really, what the only choice that I did have was not a horrible choice at all. It was an amazing choice. It was like, okay, we're going to send you to Boca. We're going to send you to Boca Raton. I'm like, oh, well, that's a terrible place. So yeah, so that is where I was for a few years. And if you probably are somewhat familiar with Florida in that, on the west and the east coast, when you go all the way down to the tip, I mean, it's just township after township after township after township. So it all just sort of like runs together. So eventually, I made my way and down to Fort Lauderdale, which not that it was all that far. You're talking maybe 10, 12 minutes, from one house to the other. So, and I'm now no longer in the hotel and restaurant industry. I do physician staffing and have been doing that for 17 years now.
It's kind of funny, and again, we're here on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590 with Laura Raspberry Clinton, how things can leads you to one area in Florida that totally changes it to
Right.
the exact and different direction. Is that correct?
Exactly.
And you said you're now in the physician staffing industry. And as we're here to talk about the September 6th Fall into Arts, the listeners are probably saying, Darren, why are we talking to Laura Raspberry Clinton, who's in physician staffing, about this event? And for those people who don't know, your mother is a very talented musician. Is that correct?
Absolutely, she is.
And for the listeners, just explain, and again, explain to them who your mother is.
My mother is Glenda Raspberry, who is an extremely accomplished musician. I guess she would kind of say she was almost like a child prodigy when it came to playing the piano. She plays the organ. She played the violin. She was a voice major at the University of Illinois in Champaign. But she's just an amazing pianist and organist. I mean, she's been our church organist at the Presbyterian Church now for 52 years. And she's just one of those persons that she can listen to anything once and sit down on the keyboard and just, I'm not talking about just picking the keys. She can play like chords like all up and down the keyboard and will just absolutely blow you away.
And I've been lucky enough. I know that she has several recordings in
Yes.
which you can pick up and listen
Yes.
To Miss Raspberry playing. And lack of a better phrase, are you also into music of any kind?
Yes. Now, I would say that I did not, sadly enough, I did not, her talents, I would say did not necessarily, I cannot possibly do what she does. But she started me out at the age of 4, taking piano lessons. So I took piano lessons for 13 years. My first teacher, my mother started teaching me at first, and then Veretta Sexton
Absolutely.
was my piano teacher for several years when I was really young, like probably 7, 8, 9, and then Bernice Crow
Of course.
was my piano teacher for like the rest of the time, and I took all the way through my senior year in high school. And as a matter of fact, one of my classmates, Paul Peltz, he and I did a piano recital together our senior year, and so that was very nerve-wracking, but I hear that it was really amazing and excellent. So.
Absolutely. And again, we're here on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Laura Raspberry Clinton. A little bit about Fall into Arts that's going to happen September 6th. And Laura, and may I call you Laura?
You can.
You're a member of CAFTA.
Yes.
And explain to the listeners exactly what is CAFTA. What does the initial stand for?
Okay. The acronym stands for Kennett Alliance for the Arts.
Correct. And each year they put together a festival that's in downtown Kennett. September 6th is the date this year, and they call it Fall into Arts. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Kind of explain to the listeners a little bit about what Fall into Arts is, if you don't care.
Well, Fall into Arts basically is a community event that is meant to be able to showcase artists, musicians, and bring the art culture, I guess, if you will, music and art culture to the community free of charge as something to do and for our community to be able to experience. I do know now. I was not physically here back when it started in 2009, so this technically will be our 17th year. If you go back to all the way up until this year, it would be the 17th year. But it was now the event is on Saturday, and it's always the second Saturday or the first Saturday, I should say, after Labor Day. Like always, every single year, whatever date that is, it's going to be that Saturday after Labor Day.
So again, it's the first Saturday after Labor Day.
Correct.
The first September Saturday.
Right.
After Labor Day.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Like last year, it was the 7th, for
Correct.
example.
Okay.
Because I guess September 1st was on a Sunday, so on and so forth. This year, it just happens to be on that Monday.
Yes, ma'am.
But it used to be a multi-day event. So it was 2 full days. I think then it went down to a day and a half, and now we're basically all day Saturday, and then have tacked on an evening event, which I know that Lemmy had spoken to you about on Saturday evening,
right,
at the high school.
And again, we're here on KDX AM 1590. Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd, talking to Laura Raspberry Clinton from CAFTA about the September 6th Fall into Arts. As you indicated, Lemmy Pulliam is going to have a concert that evening at the Kennett High School at, I believe it starts at 7 p.m.
Correct.
In which he will be him and some other individuals bringing some very special music to kind of wrap up the Fall into Arts Festival.
Correct.
And then also something that's very interesting, and we've also talked to them, Paige McCormick and Katie Coleman with Paint the Town is also going to do a very exciting event in which Katie will be painting a live mural on the Opera House wall, the west side, beginning Thursday and wrapping it up on that Saturday. Is that correct?
It is. We're thrilled and so excited. It's going to be pretty cool.
So you can come down starting Thursday. They're going to lay out the drawings, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. You can start watching Katie do that. But on September 6th, beginning at what time?
10 o'clock is officially when the Fall into Arts kicks off. But, the Paint the Town, that's going to start at 9:30.
Correct.
So that will be the walk run that's going to start at the bistro and then end up in front of basically the Presbyterian Church, like in between, like right around where the activity center is and the lawn, the middle lawn of the church area. And so I'd say probably about 9:45-ish is pretty much when it's going to kick off and you're going to start hearing, the music and it's just going to kind of explode from there.
And again, we're here with Laura Raspberry Clinton talking a little bit about Fall into Arts, which will be September 6th. What I usually tell people is if you can find the Dunklin County Courthouse, you'll be in the right spot.
That's right. That's right.
So, Laura, tell us a little bit about some of the lineup and things that's going to go on if you don't care.
Of course, I would love to. Well, it's been a tradition every year when to kick off the event is we have the KHS band open us up. So they're going to be opening us up with the national anthem, and then following them will be performances by the Twirlers, the Color Guard. I even think the middle school Twirlers are going to be joining and doing a performance as well. So again, they will start pretty much right at 10 o'clock and open us up. And then following that will be typically the Holcomb High School band will come in right after that. Or that's how we have it, in the lineup and how it's been in years past. And then some of the other events that we've had that are very popular are a dance troupe from Paragould called Cue the Applause. And they will do, their routine can be anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. And they'll come in and that's always a crowd favorite and brings in, a lot of folks, that have children, performing in that group. And then we typically like to schedule them, late morning so that they can spend and enjoy, the rest of the festival with the kids and because it's meant to be a family event.
Absolutely. And again, we're here on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590 with Laura Raspberry Clinton, talking a little bit about the September 6th Fall into Arts Festival. That's going to be an outstanding event. You indicated, and Mooring and I, we've already signed up for the Turkey Trot in Bloomfield. Isn't that right, Mooring? I don't give Mooring a a microphone. I don't let him answer. He would say no, so he just has to go along with whatever I say. So you indicated there's also going to be a color run that morning. That's correct.
That's right.
In which you'll be doing some events in which you run, and they'll be throwing colors and splashing things on you.
Yes.
So Mooring will be there to represent the Welcome to the Booth for that event. I will be nursing a bad hamstring that day. But they need to sign up for that because
you're going to say something.
No, bad hamstring, not bad hamstring. So if you want to sign up for that, you can go to Paint the Town. Is that correct?
Yes. Miles for Murals, Paint the Town, and that information. Like if you go to our, they have a Facebook page too, Paint the Town and Miles for Murals, and I know that the sign up sheet it's all over. If you just go to their Facebook page, it's all there, and it's just kind of a point and click thing. But yeah, they're still taking registrations and will up until probably the day before.
And honestly, if you wanted to just show up and come,
I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. The more the merrier is our philosophy.
I guarantee you, no one's going to be turned away.
Absolutely.
100%.
And again, we're here with Laura Raspberry Clinton talking a lot about Fall in the Arts on September 6th. I know in the past there's been a lot of food vendors, things of that nature. Can you kind of explain, is there going to be that again this year?
Oh, yes. Well, and just to kind of go back a little bit, like last year, we grew so much last year from the year before. I will just kind of try to throw out some ballpark statistics here, and these are just very, very loose numbers. It was estimated that in the years past, I think they were estimating about 2,500 attendees. I mean, it's kind of impossible. You just kind of have to get a figure get an eyeball. So they were figuring about 2,500. I think with the vendors, or according to the numbers that I saw, the total amount of vendors for the 2023 year was around 53 last year. And then we had one staging area. So last year we had 3 staging areas. So really kind of exploded in that area. We had gone from having the staging area on the north side of the square, really just kind of relegated to the steps, to having it a huge staging area on the east side of the courthouse and the west side, and then also used the Presbyterian Church grounds, that large grassy area between our activity center and the actual sanctuary. And it's a lovely shaded area there, and it was perfect. I mean, it was so well received last year, and we were so thrilled with how everything. We thought, you know what, this is great. This is fantastic. We had seating there. It was shady. It was just really, really nice, and we had so much positive feedback about that. I can't imagine. I mean, kind of seems like it's going to be a tradition, here going forward.
Right.
And then our art contest, instead of having that in the Opera House indoors, which we also have some indoor vendors as well, we did a little change with that last year and moved it into the Presbyterian Activity Center. So again, that really worked out well. So again, we grew from 1 stage to 3 staging areas. Also, we almost had 100 vendors. So pretty much in my mind, we almost doubled it. I think we ended up with maybe 98 vendors. I think there may have been a handful of no-shows, but still, in my mind, I like to just say, okay, well, it doubled. That sounds good to me.
Absolutely.
That sounds good to me. And then that also means that we had a lot more food truck vendors, all of that. And so this year we're planning on even more. And we kind of estimated ballpark, probably attendance was around 3,500-ish last year. It could have been more. But I think that's a reasonable number, to kind of assume, only because everyone that we spoke to said, "Oh my gosh, there's so many more people here than in the
Absolutely.
years past."
Right.
So, I just thought, we'll add 1,000. Sounds good.
And again, we're here on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. Extremely excited to talk to Laura Raspberry Clinton about the September 6th Fall into Arts program that has grown. It's the 19th one that we've had. Is that right?
17th.
17th. I'm very bad with numbers. Isn't that right, Maureen?
Well, it started in 2009, so that's where you're getting the 9
Yeah,
from.
so the 17th, you indicated something that's very interesting to me. You said there's 3 staging areas. And for those of us who are not very up to date on the lingo, are you indicating that there's 3 separate areas in which actual live music or performance is going to be played during the day?
Correct. We had 3 last year. This year we have 2 because we're kind of feeling some things out. We had a staging area on the west side of the stage last year, and it was the sun in the afternoon. It is just really, really hot on that side. So we basically, long and the short of it is, we have 2 staging areas this year. We'll probably have 3 again next year or at some point, but we just kind of have to figure out what to do, how to deal with the afternoon sun. So yes, 2 live music areas. One is going to be on the east side of the courthouse, and we're going to have an actual stage. We had an actual stage last year, and we're getting that from All Star Music, which J.R. Rogers runs that, and the name of his company is All Star Music, and he does things all around in Northeast Arkansas, Southeast Missouri, but he has a stage. It's a really, really large stage, and that's going to be situated on the east side of the courthouse, which is where we had that also last year. We were just lucky enough we just kind of lucked into being able to have that again this year. So we were very grateful for that. And then the other area for live music will be on the Presbyterian Church grounds.
Absolutely.
And the way, just to kind of give the listeners, try to picture in your mind how it will look, is in the grassy area, we'll have seating. And I think ballpark, we maybe set up for 50 chairs or so. Again, it's a very nice shady area, but please, I would encourage anybody that's coming, if you can, or if you're able to, bring your own, chair, because just to be prepared, because you never know. But it's a beautiful shady area, and then there's a really wide sidewalk. Gosh, it's probably over 5 feet wide, and then that's where the musicians are going to be playing. And what I've done as far as the schedule goes is who will be performing there will be your solo acts. For example, your Elliott Wade, songwriter musicians. He's going to be joining us again this year, and we've just been blessed to have him join Fall into Arts for the last several years, and he is just extremely well known and popular in the area. So he will be one of the performers. Scott Mayotte is another one that's performed off and on a number of times during Fall into Arts. And as I understand it, I think he's also performed at the Bistro. Like these are people that, if you're into live music, they've performed all around here.
Correct.
So people should know their
Right.
names. But that's what we focused, or the types of groups that we focused there. And then the east side of the square will be where the bands will be, and that's going to be some exciting stuff there.
And again, we're here on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Laura Raspberry Clinton.
I know that's a long name.
Well, I just want to call you Laura Raspberry.
Well, you can. You can.
She's originally from Kennett, a graduate of 1983, Judy Kate.
I did.
And she's back after living in Florida. She is a integral part of the September 6th Fall into Arts program that's going to take place here on the Courthouse Square in Kennett. And we talked a little bit about the two staging areas, the one on the Presbyterian grounds and the other on the east side of the courthouse that's going to have the stage. Is there a schedule that's out in regards to what musical our act is going to be at what place and what time?
Yes, that I know that the times are going to be posted on our website, and then I will personally be putting it on our Facebook page probably sometime later today. But yes, I have it. I have it right here with me.
Would you like to do some breaking news and kind of go through it, or do you?
I sure will.
Absolutely,
I sure will.
And again, we're here with Laura Raspberry Clinton on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. Laura's going to go through the entire list of musical acts that are going to perform on the September 6th Fall into Arts Festival here in Kennett at the courthouse. The courthouse square will be blocked off. There'll be two stages. One will be at the Presbyterian, I'll call it the grassy area, the Presbyterian
the grassy
Church.
knoll. No,
Grassy,
yes,
yes.
the grassy area.
And then the east side of the courthouse will be a stage by All Star Productions that will also be going on. So, Laura, take it away and kind of explain what kind of entertainment we have for the September 6th.
All righty. Well, again, Miles for Murals Paint the Town. They're going to be finishing their paint run in front of the Presbyterian Church grounds, probably around 9:45. Awards will be given. We're going to have some fun, dance, lively music, upbeat music going on, just to welcome them in and during the award ceremony. Then at 10 o'clock, on the other end, on the east side of the square, we're going to have the KHS Band. Again, as I said, it's been tradition that they kick off the event. So they're going to start performing at 10 o'clock. They'll start with the national anthem. And then usually they will perform about 20 minutes or so and play a few songs. Then the twirlers will come on after that, and the color guard. So with those three groups, let's just I'll put them in a nice little ball with the KHS crew, including the twirlers and the color guard. I would say they would be there from 10 to 10:40ish. Then the Holcomb Band will come on right after that. Now, meanwhile, we will have stuff going on in the Presbyterian grounds, but I'll get to that in a second. I'll just go through instead of bouncing back and forth. Then, after the Holcomb Band finishes, the Boot Hill Party Band, they're new and joining us this year, and that is some local talent right there. We've got four guys that are local to the area, or I think maybe even five, that are in the band. They play all over. If you go to Forest Roots or if you frequent there, I know they've played there quite a bit, and several other places in the area here too. And so we're just super, super excited to have them with us. And as a matter of fact, I believe they're playing Friday night for the Kennett Cruisers.
Oh,
for the car show.
Yeah.
So they're going to be taking the main stage on the east side of the square. And I'm going to apologize. I'm going to back up just a tiny bit here, just to clarify that the bands themselves, or the high school bands themselves, they're not going to be on the stage, but they'll be, centered on the courthouse steps or in that area. We always have bleachers, set up. We're going to make sure that the band and the twirlers have plenty of room to do their routines. And then we'll have the seating back from that, which will be covered by tents, which is what we have been doing the last couple of years and what we're still going to plan on doing.
Absolutely.
So the Boot Hill Party Band is estimated, we're ballpark estimating them to start around 11 o'clock. And we're hoping that they play for about an hour and a half, somewhere right around in there. And then there's going to be some downtime in between the Boot Hill Party Band and the next event. Just they're going to have to kind of tear down a little bit. So there might be, 10 or 15 minutes of some scurrying about. And then cue the applause. Dance company is going to do a performance which will last maybe about 15, 20 minutes, right around in there. And then once they're done, the final band on the east side will be Broke by Monday. They'll be performing. They joined us last year and were very well received. And that band features a Kennett native. He actually lives here now, too, Damon Holligan, who is a classmate of mine.
Okay, yeah.
Also from the class of 1983.
Okay, good deal.
And so a lot of their band members are also, too. He bounces back and forth between Kennett and the Nashville area. So the other band members are from around there, but they play a ton and have been together, quite a while and are just a super tight band and really, really, really good. I know basically play a lot of the same, genre that the Boot Hill Party Band, they all play. You've got blues, rhythm and blues, rock, country, little dance music, a little bit of everything. So it'll be a rockin' good time there on the east side of the square. And they're going to start. Broke by Monday will probably go on around 1:30 by the time that they can get everything set up, and then they'll play all the way up until 4. And so they'll close it out on that side over there.
And again, we're here on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, getting a rundown of all the activities and musical events that's going to take place September 6th, Fall into Arts on the Dunclan County Square. With my good friend Laura Raspberry Clinton. She was nice enough to give me some time today to come in and to be welcome to the booth. She's a Kennett native, was a little bit of a transplant to Florida, but she's back here in Kennett now. We're excited to have her back. And we talked a little about what was going on the East Stage, for lack of a better word. And now you're going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen on the Presbyterian grassy area, correct?
Yes. Presbyterian Church grounds, the grassy area. Yes. But you can't miss it.
Absolutely
you're
not.
You don't have to, be like, well, where is the? It'll be right there. Like if you can't,
It'll almost be like once you're on the area, once you walk to the post office to watch Katie as she's painting, you'll see the grounds right there.
That's it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned earlier, the Miles for Murals run will end right there in that area at 9:45-ish. And then some awards will be given out. We'll have some, fun, upbeat music playing during that time. And then once that is done, that area is going to open up with Scott Mayotte. He's going to be entertaining us, and we'll play until I'm estimating. And again, I'm going to say these are all fluid,
right?
But we're thinking that around 10:15 is when he'll get started. But he'll be ready to go. I know he'll be ready to go. Whatever time, and then he will play for about an hour, and then take a little break, and then we're going to have Act 2 performers come in, and they are an organization that has participated in Fall into Arts for a number of years. They were not able to join us last year. They had a conflict, unfortunately, but they will be performing in that area, which will be perfect for them. They usually have anywhere from 6 to 8 performers, and what they do is they will take like little snippets from one of their future performances that'll be coming up. For example, I know in October, the big thing that they're going to be putting on, they just finished one, or are doing one right now this month. in the Paragould Jonesboro area. But the one that they'll be done with that by the time Fall into Arts, but the one coming up will be the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, absolutely.
So that'll be pretty cool to see, and fun to see what they're going to do with that. So that'll be very entertaining to watch. And so they'll be there for about 30 minutes or so. And then after that, Scott will come back for about another 45 minutes.
And you indicated the name of that group that's going to do the presentation after Scott and then before Scott is Act 2?
Well, Scott will open it up
Right.
at 10:15. Then right after he does an hour-long set, Act 2 performers will come on and do a 30-minute set. And that's going to be the only one that they're going to do right now for that. And I anticipate, although they may also throw in something from their December show that they're going to be doing, but I'm thinking that it's probably going to be highly focused on the October show, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And that's when Mooring and I will be there to do the time warp.
Oh, fun. Yes, there you go.
Don't act like you don't know.
I was going to say, I'm like, yeah.
And then we'll go on the outstanding. So I cut you off. I apologize again. We're on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking about the extensive, amazing list of entertainment that's going to be there September 6th for the Fall into Arts program. Laura Raspberry Clinton, a member of CAFTA, original member of the class of 1983. And I've stopped her. Scott and Mike will be back. Who's going to be on after Scott?
Elliot Wade is going to come on right after Scott. And so he'll be performing right now. I've got him down for about an hour and 15. And then after that, Dennis Gurley and the Eggmen are going to be closing us out on the Presbyterian end, and they'll come on around 2:30 and then close out around 4:00. They joined us last year at Fall into Arts, and I know they had in the years past, although it had been a while. But Dennis Gurley and the Eggmen is a trio, and they play a lot of just picture Beatles type, melodic harmonies, that sort of thing. There's some Eric Clapton that they throw in there too, some of his earlier stuff. So that's the type of music that you could enjoy with them as well. So that will round out the music performances. And I will say, and because I don't want to forget anyone, that this is pretty much going to be the lineup, but I might have, I already know I have 2 smaller surprise local acts that I'm going to be putting down on the Presbyterian grounds. That'll be, for example, I have one group that will be an a cappella group that is featuring 4 high school men.
Outstanding.
So they're going to be joining us, and these are performances that are like 5 to 10 minutes.
Sure.
And they'll just, maybe I'll put them like in between. That'll be, in between another person tearing down and setting up, that sort of thing. And then we have some tap dancing that's going to be taking place as well. So it's going to be a great, fun-filled day, and I'm just super excited, and I'm just really thrilled to be a part of it and to be able to be back in my community and contribute and just be a part of everything going on.
And again, we're here on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590, talking to Laura Raspberry Clinton about what's happening with the musical acts at the September 6th Fall into Arts program that's going to be located on the square of in Dunklin County and also on the Presbyterian Church grounds. As we indicated, it begins with a very exciting color run, which is sponsored by Paint the Town and Miss Paige McCormick and her group, and then that'll wind up ending and kicking off the event. We also indicated that Katie Coleman, a very talented artist from Dexter, will be painting a mural live starting Thursday, which is still amazing to me, until the conclusion of the Fall into Arts project on September 6th on the west wall of the Opera House. And then also Lemmy Pulliam, who is, as I indicated, one of the premier eminent opera singers, tenors, dramatic tenors of all time, is going to be singing, doing a concert at the high school to end it on that evening. A lot going on, and people are going to say, well, if I'm there all day, what am I going to do about food, Laura?
Goodness gracious. There will be no shortage of food at all. Just to paint a picture for those of y'all that are listening on the other end of this, there are mostly Main Street, probably, from the post, just picture from the post office all the way down till you get pretty much to the Presbyterian Activity Center. It's just going to be food truck after food truck after food truck. I mean, if you go to the website, www.cafta, K-A-F as in Frank, T-A.org, O-R-G, it will have, you can, kind of toggle around the website, but you'll just click on vendors, and it has a listing of all of the vendors that are going to be participating. It will categorize it by the art vendors versus the community event vendors versus the food vendors, and I mean it's just running off the page. And we still have people that are registering. And as I understand it, I learned this at our meeting the other night, that there's going to be kind of, I would say, 2 food court areas. Probably the biggest one, well, I know the biggest one's going to be along Main Street. There's going to be where all the food is. So, I mean, it should be super convenient, obviously,
right,
for the Presbyterian grounds. But then there's also going to be several food trucks and over on the east side, so that people that are kind of, milling about, I mean, obviously you can go over where you want to go, but you'll have easy access to food over there as well, kind of like over in front of the where the museum is, and in front of the on the corner there where
right.
College ends, and
sure.
you come onto the square, will be that kind of stuff too. Like, for example, I know Lola, the sushi restaurant, I'm pretty positive that they're going to be situated pretty much right outside their storefront. But again, I think right now we've got almost 25 food vendors.
So you're telling me that on September 6th, I can come and start my morning and not have to leave, and I will be able to get great entertainment. Mm-hmm. I will be able to get all the food I want.
That's right.
And can just mill about. And one of the things, and again, we're here on Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. Laura Raspberry Clinton from CAFTA talking about the Fall in the Arts Project. It's going to be September 6th, which is the 17th year of the event. It costs absolutely nothing to go. Is that correct?
That's right.
All 100% free.
All 100% free.
And
with the exception of if you buy your own food.
Food and things like that. That's what I mean. No admission price for these numerous events and activities.
Right.
One thing that a lot of people are going to say, well, if it's downtown, isn't there going to be some issues with traffic and things like that? It's my understanding that the Kennett Police Department and other people are going to close off some streets. It's going to be extremely safe for the children if they want to go down there.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely,
we're inviting everyone from the age of, as my last, somebody told me, from 0 to 102. Come on down. It'll be a great time. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this, Laura. How is this all paid for? How do we bring such quality art and things of this nature downtown to our region? How do we pay for that?
Well, we have been getting assistance from the state. There are a couple of different organizations that we get grants from. Now, albeit it's not a ton of money, mind you, but they're small grants. I mean, I'm talking small, like you'd be very, very surprised like how much goes into putting on an event like this. I mean, we're a small but mighty, band of people, and there's probably no more than 10 of us really that put in, between all of us together, thousands of hours
Absolutely.
of planning and just what it takes to logistically make everything go off from start to finish. But not only do we have, the support of a couple of state organizations, we have the support from the Chamber of Commerce, the City of Kennett, and again, not massive, but we get support from them. And then outside of that, our local community, we have so many businesses that have been super generous with their sponsors and their donations. And I mean, we flat out couldn't do it, without the community businesses support. We just couldn't. I mean, we wouldn't have enough money to get out of the gate. 100%.
And again, we're here with Laura Raspberry Clinton talking about the September 6th Fall into Arts Festival. It's going to be held downtown Kennett at the Courthouse Square. There's going to be live entertainment. There's going to be a color run to kick it off that morning. A live mural being painted by Katie Coleman of Dexter with Paige McCormick. Paige indicated she's going to climb up on that scaffolding this year and help. I don't think Paige really said that, but I'm going to put it out there. Didn't she tell me that morning? And of course, he's shaking his head. I don't let him have a microphone. There's a reason for all that. Yeah. And we're talking a lot about this. For instance, if I wanted to donate some money to the event, so that way the 18th event, which always is the Saturday after Labor Day, the first Saturday in September after Labor Day, if I wanted to make sure that the 18th event was bigger and better, how could I donate?
You can go to our website, which again is www.kafta.org, and there is a sponsorship link right on our webpage. You'll see links for vendors. There's historical links to the historical tour that we'll be doing, but there is a sponsorship link too. Or I could just give you my personal cell phone. No, I'm kidding. And I will just come and you can call me and I'll come and collect it. But no, seriously, go to our website. There are sponsorship forms there, and we would be very grateful and for any additional support, because again, we have to have the support of the community monetarily, or we just would not be able to do it.
And again, we're here with Laura Raspberry Clinton talking about the extremely exciting event that's going to take place September 6th, Fall into Arts in downtown Kennett. Laura, I know that you would be remiss, and I would be remiss. CAFTA is made up of a group of people, and I'm almost hesitant to ask you this, but is there a way you could give me some of their names so people know how many and who's involved in this organization? Because this is not something that you start planning in August. This is a year from as soon as the event's over, September 6th, September 7th, maybe September 8th, you're thinking about the next event.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm already thinking about it.
So give me a list of some of those names that has been involved, if you don't care. And again, we're not trying to leave anybody out, but it's an extensive list.
Oh, very, very. Well, let's see. My husband, Scott Coleman, is involved, and he is... Well, we call him like the tech part of it. Like he's in charge of making sure that we've got enough microphones, that we've got speakers and the stuff that the bands are going to need in order to plug in and do what they need to do.
Absolutely.
So he's in charge of coordinating that and getting all of that together. Miss Lisa Dry.
Lisa Dry.
I'm trying to think. Marianne Wright,
yes,
actually is the festival coordinator,
right, and
has been for a number of years. So she is heavily involved, from A to Z, and just does so much. again, that goes into this festival. Mary Lynn Wright also is very heavily involved and has been for years. You have Libby Mobley, myself, Scott, Mr. Tommy Allgood is very involved in the art portion, like the art contest portion. So he kind of oversees that portion of it with the art contest. Let's see, Lemmy Pulliam, of course, is on there. Paige McCormick, we've talked about her. Melanie Mays has joined us this year.
Absolutely.
And Daryl Watson, who is another classmate of mine who recently grew up here in Kennett and was out in California for many years.
That's correct.
And just relocated back to Kennett shortly too.
And
so,
I need to apologize to you and everyone involved because I need to mention something I think is really, really neat. Your aspect of the entertainment is amazing. Mr. Allgood is amazing. But we haven't talked about Lisa Dry and the Tour of Homes. I know that she's going to come on and talk about that.
That's right.
But not only are we going to have this amazing color run to kick it off, we're going to have an actual mural. Let's paint an actual mural.
Yes.
All of these outstanding bands are going to be playing. All of the local talent with the Kennett Band, the Holcomb Band is going to be playing, as well as the Color Guard and the Majorettes are going to be performing. Tons of food trucks. I think I can go get my face painted if I want to.
Yes.
Morgan and I are going to get matching face paint. So we're excited about that. This event is something you have to come to see to truly understand how amazing it is.
Really. It is, and every year it just kind of seems like we're adding stuff like what Lisa has done to put this historical tour together is really, well, it is really mind-blowing. I mean, she has put so much work into it, and it is really just nothing short of amazing. And it was so well received last year, and just really people, just every person that went on the tour loved it. And obviously, that's going to be a huge part of our event this year. And I can't see that going away anytime soon, other than just expanding.
Right.
Another thing that we added this year is we have an antique tractor show.
Oh, absolutely. What's more Southeast Missouri than antique tractor? Absolutely.
Right. So we have an antique tractor show that's going to be happening as well. And I don't want to talk too much about that, only because I don't. That kind of does not fall under my purview. But Lisa, when she comes to speak to you about it, that's kind of in her wheelhouse. So she'll talk about all of that. And then I do want to mention, though, the vendors, because we've talked a lot about the food vendors, but we have, and we still have space available, by the way. So again, if you want to register for a vendor spot, please visit our website, www.kafta.org, and just go to the vendor link, and it will give you instructions on how to apply, pay, and so on. And I do want to mention, it's just so unfortunate we have to worry about so many different scams. There's every day you wake up, there's a new one, right, trying to, figure out how to scam us. But please know that the only way to register and pay is through our website. And unfortunately, we kind of have to keep a hawk eye watching some things, on our Facebook page. They like to, kind of put some messages out there, which can be confusing, to a lot of people. But don't fall for that. Just make sure that you go to our website and register and pay only. And that goes for, any kind of vendor, whether you're, a food truck vendor, art vendor, wanting to register for the art contest or a photo contest, anything of that sort. But I want to mention that we're going to be using the Opera House for, we've got indoor vendor space for that, which is going to be on a first come, first serve basis. I believe that we do still have space available if you are wanting to request an indoor spot. Albeit it may be very, a handful left or maybe
Sure.
less than a handful, but the sooner, if you're thinking about it and you want to be indoor, the sooner you can get on the website and register, please do so. And if you've got any questions, again, there's instructions on the website as to where to click or who to email, for any questions and so on and so forth. And then for the rest of the vendors on the outdoor, those are all going to be marked off, and they're usually 10 by 10 spots all along the square. And the definition of that is going to be they'll start on the north side of the square and just, kind of be on both sides of that area, and then also on the west side too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there'll be vendor spots all along there. And then the Presbyterian Activity Center is going to be strictly where the art contest will be held.
Sure.
And they'll have all the art and everything posted up for the contests and the photos. So again, if you're wanting to put your artwork in there, register to go to our website, www.cafta.org. and click on the link to register for that. And they're still, taking applications for that as well. And it's my understanding that we added a new category this year.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. And I should have, I am remiss, but I should have studied up on this before I came on. So I might just have to come on and talk to you again. We'll see.
That will be fine.
We'll see. But the new category is for murals.
Oh, outstanding.
So definitely go on and check that out. And we would love to, I would have to say that that's probably one area that we would really like to see more participation with is with the contest.
Absolutely.
For the art and photo. And we do our best to push the information out, as best we can, to the schools and just by word of mouth. So I hope that any of you all that are listening, if you know of anybody that, you feel would like to put their pieces up and just be a part of the event, I would encourage you to encourage them to sign up, and we'd love to have them.
And we thank you very much. It's been my pleasure to talk to Laura Raspberry Clinton, talking about Fall in the Arts, which is going to take place September 6th this year. Mm-hmm. Again, this is Welcome to the Booth with Darren Todd on KDX AM 1590. For more information about the September 6th event, get on www.kafta.org. It has all of your questions can be answered. You can enroll as a vendor. You can see what the great, amazing lineup is going to be. And I thank Laura very much for joining and welcoming us to the booth today. And I hope everyone has an excellent afternoon and a better tomorrow.